These are the inside of the pocket flaps for the front of the blazer, and it asks for these pieces to have interfacing on. It's only a light interfacing, it's very simple. This is a fusible, so it's got the glue on that side and the other side is just plain. Now I've not put this piece on just yet, but I've trimmed down this piece here before I stick it on, so that it's not on the seam allowances. And the reason I do that is because I don't like the bulk, any extra bulk in those seams that is necessary. So I've just trimmed it down, I've taken off a little bit all the way around, and I'm just about to steam this. So I've got my cloth. Just give them a little bit of a steam first, and then I'm going to hold it on about 15 seconds. Move it along. I'm counting in my head: 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, 9,000, 10,000, 11,000, 12,000, 13,000, 14,000, 15,000. Okay, so that should be stuck on there, but I need to leave it to cool completely so that it fixes to that piece. And I know it's on the wrong side because there's my pin showing me which is the right side. I'll do the same with the other piece in a moment. So now that I've ironed on the interfacing to this flap inside piece, this is piece 32. I'm going to need to attach that to piece 22, which is the front side piece. So I've got both of those here, and I'm going to just line that up on there, and the same on this side. Now these have both fully cooled down now, so the glue is well stuck. I'm fixing the right sides together, and then I'll sew around this seam here and here, and then be able to turn them in once I've trimmed the seam, but I'll show you that step next. So I'm attaching the front inside flap piece to the side front piece, and I've got the right sides together, and this is the wrong side. So I've pinned it to the front flap, the front piece, and I'm going to sew all the way around here up to the seam line here. I'm using a 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. I shall pop that on there. Like I said before, I take out my pins. I don't like to leave them in, just to avoid any chance of them, my needle hitting it as I'm going. So here we go. Let's go. I'm very carefully going to go around this corner here, because it's not really a corner, it's actually a really lovely curve. I shall pop the needle in, I shall turn that. And there we have it, sewn on all the way around. Nice neat curve there and around that corner as well. Now, if there's any problems and you have any problems with those corners, you don't forget you can simply undo it and then have another go, just to make sure that you get a really beautiful curve on all of those parts. I've got both of the flap pieces sewn, and I'm going to trim the seam allowance. Now I don't want to take this piece because I'm going to be sewing the inside pocket of that, so I'm just taking it down. I'm doing this single layer because it's just easier, and I'm fairly close to those the stitches on the seam, so removing most of that seam allowance there. Carefully around this point. And then up again to this seam here, where I'm just going to take that off there like that. So I'm going to repeat that on this part here as well, just to reduce down the bulk in that, and I'll do the same on this one too in a minute. So now I've got the two pieces and I've trimmed down the seam allowance and trimmed off that seam allowance there. I'm not going to snip these corners and the curves. I don't think it's going to be necessary. I might change my mind once I've tried to turn it inside out though. So that's what I'm going to do next. There. So give that a good press, and there we have, and we'll have a nice pocket flap that's going to go very nicely on the jacket.